This is Andre Sweeney, the Life Specialist. Welcome to the Get a Life Show, the show that gives you the tools and principles necessary for an outstanding life. Today's segment is called Life Nuggets, and today I want to talk about something called consequences. Now, this word has had a kind of negative connotation over the years. When people hear the word consequences, they think something bad, something to be afraid of, something that most people don't want to talk about. But I'm here to tell you that oftentimes consequences can be your best friend. I want to tell you that the world needs consequences. You need consequences. Consequences keeps us in check. Consequences keeps us from going over the edge. It keeps us from doing things that we want to do but know we shouldn't. Consequences keeps us within boundaries. It gives us lines in the playing field that lets us know that we can't cross here or we can't cross there. Without consequences, the world would be in chaos. Without this word of consequence, people would do whatever they wanted to do. There would be nothing to stop people from killing you, nothing to stop people from robbing you, nothing to stop people from doing all sorts of things that crazy little minds think of. Yeah, consequences can hurt, but I'm here to tell you, without them, the world would be a crazy place to live in. Think about it like this. For all you Christians out there, and I happen to be one, if there was no hell, would you really live for God? Would you really obey His commandments? If there was no threat of the death penalty, how many more murders would we have? How many people would actually be killed in a day if there was no threat of 25 years to life? How many more rapists would we have if there was no threat of being put on a sex registry? How many more violent crimes would there be if there was no threat of being caught by the police? The only reason why most of us even keep the speed limit is the consequence of being pulled over and the subsequent consequence of getting a ticket and having to pay money. Yes, without consequences, there would be nothing to keep us from doing things that we shouldn't do. But yet, consequences gets a bad rap, has a negative connotation to it. Most people are afraid of them. But without those consequences, what would keep you in check? If there was no fear of getting caught by your wife, would you still remain faithful? If there was no fear of being fired, would you still be on time for work? If there was no fear, no consequence of being fired from your job, would you cuss your boss out when they told you to do something that you didn't like? Yes, consequences hurt, but we all need boundaries. Boundaries are what protects us. It's what keeps things in and what keeps things out. If I pour a pitcher of water into a glass, it is the boundaries of that glass that keeps the water from going all over the place. Without those boundaries, a consequence happens. And it's the threat of that consequence that keeps me within my boundaries. So the next time someone tells you there's going to be a consequence to your actions, thank them. Be happy that you have consequences. Be happy that there's something to keep you in line when you don't have enough sense to stay in line yourself. Yeah, as a child, we should love our parents because, hey, they birthed us, they take care of us, they feed us. But for many of us, we didn't do what our parents said because we loved them so much. Yes, we should. But it was the consequence of that butt kicking that we were going to get. that made us be home by curfew. It was the consequence of having to deal with dear old dad that kept us from talking back to mom. It's the consequences of life that keeps you from being an idiot when you're not thinking straight. So the next time somebody talks about a consequence, thank God for them. It's the only reason why some of us are here today. This is the Andre Sweeney, the life specialist. I'm here to tell you, thank God for consequences, and to also tell you, get a life.